This is your sign to go shopping for cheap dying plants this weekend. I'm so serious. These plants that usually were like $30, $20, whatever, they're $3, $5, $1, 50 cents. Most of these are annuals, which means it's just they bloom this year and that's that. But basically, I'm looking for the hanging baskets and I'm looking to see how many plants are in each. So what I'm going to do is divide up all these overgrown pre-made planters and then have a bunch of little plants to spread around my garden. I can almost guarantee you're going to come across some geraniums. These are geraniums. They're really hardy flower. Our grandmothers all grew them and they have a really distinct smell. So we're going to clean this guy up to start, and it's really fun to do. So you just kind of snap off the dead branches that used to be flowers. That's deadheading, that's what it's called, and that produces more bloom. So you're letting the flower know, like, hey, you know, we're dying, make another one, and it will bloom all summer. And these can handle really, really hard heat. But yeah, I'm just going through and just picking out any dead leaves, any yellowing leaves, browning leaves, and just buds that are dying. And like I said, you just snap them off. It's super easy and actually really satisfying. Technically, the blooms that you see are basically dead, and I could snap those off right now just to encourage it to start making new blooms. But during this process, I do like to keep a couple of them on so that I remember what color the geraniums are, especially when I go a little crazy and get a few hanging baskets in different colors. And if they're all dying and I pull off all the stems, then they're all just green and I don't know what they are. But yeah, so to spread them out, you just kind of mush it around on its side to like release it from the container, and then really get your fingers in there. It might sound like the plant is ripping, but don't worry, it's okay. Listen. As long as you're not ripping apart those main stems, you are good to go. Those are completely separate plants. This is when I realized too that there's actually two here instead of one, which is just amazing. And so once I separate everything too, just again, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Sometimes it won't separate because like in this case, the leaves were actually attached to each other. So I had to detangle those first. What I'm doing here too, sometimes things are planted in this like little, I don't know, cloth sack thing, but it kind of makes them a little bit more root bound. Like it just, anyways, it doesn't matter. We don't need to get into that right now. Okay, I'm going to show you another geranium one more time. It kind of almost, when you're like breaking apart the roots, it's like when you try and take out like French braids and you just kind of get your fingers in there and shake it out. That's kind of the concept. So one, and I just put them back in the same thing, like very loosely, and just kind of tell myself, okay, here are all my